It's been 10 years since 10X came out, and the whole 10X goal setting approach made a huge splash in the entrepreneur space. Well, what happens when we go to use that in the real world? Well, that's where it gets messy, because there's one timeless principle that is completely ignored in 10X. We're gonna get into that, along with a couple pitfalls to avoid in your goal setting. I'm excited, let's get into it.
To get what you want, you have to give up what you have.
So here's the 10X approach to goal setting in a nutshell. Set big, unrealistic goals and then take massive action. 10 times the level of action you think the goal requires. 10X assumes that the goal is never the problem, our action is the problem. I would argue we're not off to a great start, but then Cardone pushes it even further. Cardone makes the argument that we don't take massive action because we're setting small, realistic goals. As Cardone correctly points out, most people make only enough effort to where it feels like work, whereas the most successful follow up every action with an obsession to see it through to a reward. True enough, but then his solution is to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and set big, unrealistic goals and then take massive action, and massive action will take care of the rest. That's where he loses me, because 10X completely ignores the 80-20 principle. We know from this timeless principle that 20% of our actions produce 80% of our results. If you have a to-do list with 100 things on it, about 80 of them are mostly a waste of time, and 20 of them are going to produce some results, but really only a handful of those tasks on a to-do list are really going to give us the 10X results we're looking for. Taking massive action, like doing everything on your to-do list and more, is really going to end up with you spending the majority of your time on things that don't produce results. So in my opinion, 10X is really widget thinking. You know, if I make 10 widgets an hour and I can work 10 hours a day, then I can crank out 100 widgets a day, and I can do that every day indefinitely. Growing a business is not like cranking out widgets in a factory. Growing a business means stepping into the unknown, trying, testing things, finding out what works, eliminating the stuff that doesn't work. To me, ignoring the 80-20 principle and then relying on big, unrealistic goals and massive action to get there, it really only works for one type of entrepreneur, which I'll share toward the end of the video. Which means 10X isn't necessarily bad advice, but there are two big pitfalls of 10X goal setting as an entrepreneur. Before we give those, remember that this channel exists for entrepreneurs who want to be famously influential and make a big impact through your ideas without sacrificing a great lifestyle along the way. So if that resonates, make sure to hit like and share and subscribe and do all the things that tells YouTube that you enjoy the video. And now here's the first of the two pitfalls, which is setting goals that sound impressive to other people. It's already tempting enough to do this because setting big goals, especially in public, will get you a lot of kudos and attention. Yet 10X makes this temptation even harder to resist because it glorifies the big grandiose goals and basically tells you to make them the centerpiece of your goal setting, which means you're getting all the attention and the kudos now when all the hard work is still to come. Which brings us to the second pitfall, which is letting yourself off the hook when you fail. When you fail to hit this big, unrealistic goal, the tendency is to kind of shrug it off and go, yeah, but I got farther than I would have otherwise. It's like a football coach saying his goal is to make it to the Super Bowl, but then he's happy when they get bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. As one of my mentors said, if you miss a goal by even 1% and you don't consider that a failure, then you didn't have a goal, you had a dream. Now, I'll do another video sometime about radically honest goal setting, so if you want to see that, comment down below. So I mentioned that 10X does work for one type of entrepreneur, and who is that? Well, to me, it's the beginner. It's the person who's still sitting on the couch and needs a good kick in the ass to put down the French crawler and get to work. If you're a salesperson in the car sales business and you're sitting in your cubicle making 0 phone calls and just hoping somebody walks into the lot with their checkbook already out, 10X is probably exactly what you need. And considering Cardone came up in that business, that's probably who he's picturing when he wrote this. But if you're watching a video like this, that's probably not you. You're already an entrepreneur. You're already off the couch and working hard. You're looking to take the next step, more influence, more impact, more lifestyle, right? You're looking at people like Cardone for the answers, but what you're getting is hustle porn, whose only good audience is the beginner. So maybe 10X goal setting just isn't the best approach for you. Maybe it's time to get radically honest about your goal setting. Stop setting goals that are so big they sound impressive and they get lots of kudos and attention without you having to do any real work. Stop setting goals that are so big that when you don't hit them, you can let yourself off the hook, and start setting goals that you really care about. Goals that are worth trading a chunk of your life for. Goals that have a definite finish line. As one of my mentors said, identify the line between the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and that's where you'll find your real goal. That does it for 10X goal setting. I've got a bunch more to say about 10X when it comes to social media or marketing strategy, so make sure to hit like and share and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Subscribe on Substack for more real-time stuff and deeper dives into specific ideas like this. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and here is another video you might like.